welcome to today's video where I'm going to be duping Astral Amethyst Moon Shadow from the Pat McGrath Utopian Dream Eyeshadow Palette. I have a video up like this, but with the Moonlit Seduction palette where I duped one of the shades in there. So we're just going to be focusing on this shade, and the way I'm going to be doing this is first we're going to walk through the swatches, and then whichever shade is the closest is the one I will compare directly on the lid with the mattes that are in this palette, because I think that way you really get a sense of just how close it is. So I have 5 shades to compare here, but truly there's only one shade that is the closest, but I thought I would show you these because they are textural differences as well. Bonus brownie points if you know which shade this is. So here is Astral Amethyst Moon swatched, and something about this is because it is that special formula from Pat McGrath. These are just very, very sparkly and piecey and sheer. You can definitely build them up if you use a tacky primer, but this one is very, very piecey, just kind of a touch of color. And the texture of these astral shades is really hard to dupe because they do have that very specific formula and very specific texture. The shadow is a dual chrome, so it shifts to a purple. It has that purple blue base, and there's also definitely some pink in it. Now here is Spotlight, and this one is from Clionadh Cosmetics. And this one you could see already very smooth and much more opaque, and also just has a different texture, less sparkle, more just kind of smooth shine. So I'm going to swatch the Astral shade right here. You could see how like it almost looks patchy, but not in a bad way. It's just a very particular texture, and also the way it just like disperses. It looks very like fractal glitter without any glitter. So I'm going to just build it up a little bit for science so we can kind of really truly see the colors. And then swatching Spotlight next to that, you can see this one's very heavily pink. The blue is very, very subtle. Next up is Marshmallow Pillows from Devinah Cosmetics, and this one is also very, very sheer. Blue is very subtle, and the pink base is much more of a pastel pink. And here's what that looks like swatched. It doesn't have too much sparkle to it or color to it. It is definitely more of a sheer shade that is very smooth. Next up, also from Devinah, is Cream Puff Cuddles, and this is such a beautiful shade. This one has a bit more shine to it, but still very, very smooth. And the blue is a little bit stronger, and so is the pink base. And here it is swatched. Definitely very, very strong pink base. It's a little bit less sheer. Next up is Haley's Comet from Terra Cosmetics. I only included this one because I knew someone would ask, but I feel like this one is very, very different. It is very, very pink, not really so much as purple, though the blue base is pretty strong, so it is good to compare this one. And also I would like to mention the texture of this one is also very specific. It's maybe closest to Cream Puff Cuddles, but it's way shinier and way sparklier, and it just feels silky, silky smooth. And here's a swatch of this one. So it's got that sheerness to it, which you could see, but I just feel like it's pretty different. The tone is a bit different, like the tone of purple that's happening there. And I will show these all swatched together at the end. And then here is Glazier's Mark, and this one is from Clionadh Cosmetics, and this is the shade that is the closest to this. Now the texture is definitely a little bit similar. It's got more of a pinky purple kind of base, which is why this one is the closest. It is maybe not as sheer and definitely can be a bit more opaque than Astral Amethyst Moon, but color-wise it is very, very similar. So here they are all swatched out, so you can really get a feel for textures and color base. The Astral shade is just so sparkly, and so you can see while it looks pretty pink in the pan, it really has just a lot of purple to it once it's actually swatched out or applied. And then here they all are over the Pat McGrath Intensifies Artistry wand. So this is like a tacky base to really show just how opaque that these all can get, especially the Astral Amethyst Moon shade. And for the mattes, I used this shade in the crease and then this one on the outer corner. So for the tacky primer, I'm actually going to be using the Intensifies Artistry wand. I keep forgetting I have this, so I would pull it out. It has shrunken a wee bit, so I did warm it up on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to go and pop that on top of this eye. And I picked up Glazier's Mark. And that's just going to go all over the lid. So pretty. I'm going to go in just with a little bit more in the inner corner and just kind of spread it out. Onto the side, I'm going to be using the Pat McGrath shade. I'm going to pick it up with the clean side of the same brush, and here's what that looks like picked up. So also a pretty piecey, and that's just going to go all over. And again, I'm going to go in with a little bit more in the inner corner, and then just spreading it all the way outwards. I feel like I definitely can tell this one is more sheer, but that could just be a matter of building it up. So put on a little bit more. So here's what they look like on the lid. Honestly, pretty indistinguishable. I would say that the texture looks maybe just a smidgen different between the eye looks. I feel like I could see more particles here versus here. It's just kind of become one, if that makes sense. But otherwise, I feel like they're almost identical on the lid. I mean, the difference is minuscule. If I was to walk out with this eye look, no one would know that I'm wearing two different shimmer shades. You could probably build this one up a little bit more. Let me just go in with my pinky and just add on even a little bit more and just really push it in. And yeah, I feel like they're so similar. Like even the color and tone, indistinguishable. So here's the Pat McGrath side. And here's the dupe from Clionadh Cosmetics. I think if this is the only shade in here that really intrigues you, I definitely think that this is a really, really great dupe option. Now, it's not exactly the same texture, but it's very, very close. Color-wise, it's pretty much identical. And the best part is, depending on the conversion, of course, but Glacier's mark currently at the time of filming this is $8.77 USD. Now make sure if you go on Clionahd's website and you're US based, you switch it to US dollars. I also have a affiliate code with Clionadh Cosmetics so you can save some money, and it is mainly I will put up on the screen. It's also in my description box. So let me know if this video was helpful, and if it was, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.